Right, I'm very pleased to present a track that Scott can do the entire thing of. He's going to do it for us right now. Scott, your party trick, we all know it's you performing the bongos to this track completely perfectly. Do you want to start us off?
Bum 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 bum. Will that work?
I reckon you could do more, but we haven't got time. Just because you've played the song so much on your show and stuff, and I've heard it so much on your show, do you reckon you could probably give it a good crack of doing the whole bongo section like verbatim, like totally perfectly?
We did do it in school, accidentally, in a chemistry class against a bunch of different sounding test tubes, and then kind of got into a lot of trouble, but it was awesome.
Worth it. This is Safri Duo, played live, the bongo song.
This has lived such a big life, actually, and you kind of forget how many different places this has been placed. So you've got tribal drums in this, meeting a trance song, which was at the time totally unheard of. And actually, it wasn't one of these little niche things that somebody did at the time, and it was like, oh, that was great for the year 2001. This has lived, this has survived, and this gets a lot of love to this day. Weirdly enough, just as I've said about the chemistry lab thing, the person who I did that with has just texted me, and I can see her name on my screen of my phone. That is
mental.
so weird.
That
is crazy.
Hey. Safri Duo, I'm going to guess the first Danish act on our show since Aqua.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, quite a contrast. This is,
I would say that.
You'd say probably 10 out of 10 credible in terms of dance music compared to whatever Aqua was.
Yeah, this one, I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't actually really like this song. So if you've never experienced it, you need to go and experience it. And the music video is pretty timeless as well. So there's a breakdown in it, which is really atmospheric. It's just got one of the most impressive uses of drums of that whole decade. It stays pumping, it goes down when it needs to, it comes back when it needs to. It is a massive intro juice, and it just gave me the feels.
The intro, those first few bongo hits, it could very easily go into Dario G's Carnival de Paris.
Yeah.
And it could also very easily, weirdly, as I always tend to do when I'm doing this prep, is it goes towards listening to steps again. There's a sort of bongo bit at the start of Last Thing on My Mind.
There is actually, yeah.
There isn't there? In my mind, the three are all intertwined now.
Yeah.
The song has, live sound in it. It's got real crowds. We've already spoken about some tracks in the past that benefit from it. So Bullet in the Gun being one that does have it and does sound good. Black Legend being the one that does have it and doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I mean, this probably didn't even need that live sound, and it would still sound live.
Yeah.
It would still sound like a real in the moment, not sequenced together in a multi-track. It just sounds like a track that has been performed live by hand by everyone meticulously. I just think it's got such an energy that it's addictive.
It does. This is a really happy song. If you're having a bad day, this could change everything. Music video wise, what you see is a young teenage lad come into his chemistry lab. He puts on his white coat, like I did back in my chemistry lab days. I was doing an A-level in chemistry at this time. He mixes some chemicals in a beaker, and then he draws some of it out and puts it onto the microscope plate. And then as he looks into the microscope plate, what you actually see is Safri Duo performing on the bongos in their own little environment, and it is pretty impressive. So he's looking down through his telescope or his microscope. He then passes a sample of it to another girl in his class, and then before you know it, the whole class are looking at samples of it behind the teacher's back. The teacher then ends up having a look for it, and then the teacher turns into me, pretty much. But a really, really interesting video to watch, because the people that were in the video at the time were probably the people sneaking into clubs like me, experiencing it at the time, and were the ones that were paying the money for it. But for me, a massive song that I forgot was as big as it was, even though I play it all the time on the radio.
I saw the video, and then from there found a live version from 10 years later, like a 10-year anniversary at a big Danish award show, and it was nuts. Like, you said before that this track has lived. It really, 10 years on, big anniversary, performed live, seeing them, seeing the two drummers kind of doing each bit. I mean, it's so... I'm getting kind of chills thinking about it now. I want it to be there. I want to be in there with them. I know next year will be 20 years. I do hope that things are back to normal again, and we can, I think maybe we should go. Let's get ourselves to Denmark and be there for the 20th anniversary of Safri Duo playing this.
That would be so good, honestly. If you told 16-year-old Scott that would be the case, he would have lost it. I just remember being in our chemistry coats at school, and then we just started doing this around our tables, and we were just banging things. Some people were banging test tubes, and it was really bad, and it wasn't as impressive as what my brain makes it out to be 20 years later. But I can just remember getting shouted at by our school teacher just for us losing it to Safri Duo. And the thing is, the people in my class wouldn't have been dance music people, so the fact that everybody knew what that was shows the impact of it, and everybody kind of understanding what was going on. So yeah, big track for me this week.
I'll recap what it's called in case you want to go and hear it. It's called Played Alive. One of the comments was, I didn't know what this track is called, so I searched for that drum song, and I wasn't disappointed. So there you go, just search that drum song
What
and
a
it should
journey.
come up.